Although this video is good for beginners, it demonstrates a specific scenario of contributing to open source projects by making actual pull requests. Please read the article How to Create Pull Requests at Genix blog to learn the process with a fairly simple example for beginners. Link is in the description.
What's up everyone, in today's video we'll be looking at how to make an open source contribution in the correct way. So actually I found a bug at my website genixblog.com that whenever an author does not have a Twitter handle set for their profile and we try to share their article on Twitter, it adds up empty symbol which does not mention the user at all. And whenever we try to share an article of an author which actually has the Twitter handle, it sets up the mention correctly. So we'll be fixing that today. So for Genix blog, the theme is actually managed by this theme files repo. So we'll be looking at how to make an open source contribution in the correct way for this repository. So the first step would be to actually fork the repository to your own profile. So forking means that we are taking the repository to our own playground area. So we can make any number of changes to our own fork and that would not affect the actual repository. Now we can actually go ahead and clone the repository to our local machine for making the changes. So copy this link and we can go to our terminal and write the command git clone and paste the URL that you copied. Press enter and it will clone the repository to your local machine. Now you can cd into the folder that is created by cloning the repository and open your code editor so that you can make changes to this repository. Now that we are into the code editor, the first step would be to change the branch you are on. So you had opened up your terminal. You can check your current branch by typing in git branch, which actually says you are on the main branch. So do note that you should not make contributions from the main branch of your fork. I'll explain in a moment why this matters. The first step would be to actually change your branch to a different branch than main. So you will type git checkout -b and enter the name of a new branch that you want to create. So we'll create Twitter fix. You can name it any way you like, but since this is a fix for the Twitter link, we'll type Twitter fix. Now this is we have switched to a new branch, Twitter fix. Now we can go ahead and make the changes to our code editor. We'll test this code on the local machine by running this code. We'll come to the repository and check out the local setup instructions. So we need Docker for this. If you don't have Docker, you can actually install it by clicking this link. We'll run these commands in the terminal. Okay, so we need a Docker server to be running. I had not started it up. Now that the Docker server is running, I can run these two commands and it will build the website for us. And now once the build is done, we can actually go ahead to localhost 4000 to test this repository. So now we want to go to the author which does not have a Twitter handle and scroll down to the Twitter link. When we press it, we should not get the @ symbol. So yeah, we are not getting the @ symbol for now. And when we come to an author who has the Twitter link, now this time it's actually adding the mention correctly. Now we can actually go ahead and make the pull request. So pull requests are a way to actually send our changes which we made on our own fork to the remote repository, which is the original source of code. Now we can go ahead to our terminal. We can see that we have modified post.html file in the layouts folder. And we can also see on our code editor that these two lines and this text has been added. Now we can go ahead and add this to the staging area. So the staging area is kind of an area where we tell Git that the changes we have made are actually ready for being committed. So it's a draft space where we can move files in and out. So as to tell Git that these files have changes which are ready for being committed. Now we have added our files to the staging area. Now we can go ahead and commit the changes. So we'll type git commit -m. -m is for the message we are going to give to the commit. So this message is actually for the other people who are reading our code. So this doesn't actually mean anything for the code. You can add anything over here. So I'll commit the changes. And now we are done with committing the changes. Now we can actually type git push -u origin and there we'll add the branch we are pushing our changes to. So yeah, this has created a new branch which we can view from this link. As soon as we open the link, we actually see that Twitter fix had recent pushes less than a minute ago. Now what it says is we have created a new branch besides the main branch. So in the Twitter fix, we can see that there's the commit we actually made. And here are the changes that we did. So making a pull request means that we want to send our changes to the original repository. We'll press this button which says compare and pull request. Now this interface allows us to add a title and description to our PR, which we can use to tell other people what changes we are making. So I'll just format the title and add a simple pull request message. Now I'm done with the title and the message. What I will do is just press the create pull request button. So now we can view that the pull request has been made and we want to merge one commit from our own fork and the Twitter fix branch into the Genix blog main branch. Since I'm the owner of this repository, I can straight up go ahead and merge this PR, but for demo purposes, I'll wait for another team member to review the pull request and then we'll go ahead to the merging part. Now our pull request has been approved. If you're contributing to a repository which you don't own, you won't see this merge button yourself. The person who is approving these changes would actually go ahead to approve the changes. If they ask for a review, you will have to make the same commits inside the same branch and add the commits. And after that, you can just type git push, which will add the changes over here in new commits. So you don't have to make new PRs for sending multiple commits. Then once the changes have been approved, the owner of the repository or the contributors who are there, they can actually go ahead and merge these changes. So let's go ahead and merge this. Now you can go ahead to the theme homepage and see that the commit has been merged. Now what this means for your fork is, you can go to your fork, but you'll see that your fork has still not updated with the same. Now this was the reason I was saying to not actually commit to the main branch. Now what you can do is you can fetch upstream, which means that this fork will get the new commits from the original repository to itself. So when we fetch and merge, it takes the new commits from there and adds it up to your fork's main branch. Now, if we had made the commits directly to the main branch, this would cause conflicts because on our fork, there would be new commits. But when we try to fetch and merge, the original repository would have different changes which would cause clash and we would have merge conflicts. Now that we have made changes correctly, we can go to all the branches and delete the branch because the changes have been made. To keep your local setup in sync with the fork, you can go to the terminal and check out the main branch. But when you check out the log, when you see the log, it actually says the old commit. It does not show us the new commits that we have been added to the main branch. Now what we can do is we can type the command git pull, which will fetch the new changes to our main branch. So now it has actually fetched the changes. Now when we check the log, we have the new commits ready. Now you can go ahead and delete the branch locally as well by typing git branch -d and the name of the branch. Now you can follow the same steps of checking out a new branch and making your changes, sending them up to the new branch by typing git push -u origin and then the name of your remote branch and then pressing the button to make a new pull request. So this was it for the video. This was for beginners who are trying to contribute to different open source projects and don't know how to make a pull request. So if you like the video, please leave a comment and share it to your social medias. That would help a lot. Thank you.